Thank you, Randy Upton, as always, for doing this and for stepping up for the ward level. You know, I wanted to come tonight to just really thank all of you for engaging and being part of this process. You know, we are in an epic struggle, not just for our planet, our country, we're seeing it in our state, and it is absolutely critical that we all participate because this is the solution. And I can't tell you enough about kind of how the importance of doing this, and I'll just give an example. 2014, the Democratic turnout in our state was 38%. Actually, the total voter turnout was 38% of all the registered voters. The turnout in the Democratic in the primary was 19%. And so when Democrats don't vote, what happens is we end up with a shift in the House for the first time in 60 years. I think the Republican control the House, and Representative McQueen can talk about that because he came into something that was unlike anything I ever dealt with when I was in the House. So it is absolutely critical that you all participate. I have had the incredible honor and privilege to represent El Dorado since 2004, first in the House and now in the Senate. And as Randy mentioned, my job did change pretty dramatically. I was a very happy chair of the Senate Conservation Committee, which again deals with incredibly important water, energy, animal issues. And you know, the governor went all in against our majority leader, Michael Sanchez, and spent $1 million to take him out. And she was successful. So she won her battle, but ended up losing her war. We picked up 3 seats, Democratic seats in the state Senate. So we actually had a 2016 to 16 majority. And my colleagues came to me and basically asked if I would step up and run for majority leader. And so it is one of those things that, you know, you do this long enough, and if you're not going to step up when you get the chance, you really need to step out. And so with the encouragement of my wife Carol, who's in the back, who's always at my side, I appreciate her very much. You know, I jumped into this and off we went. It was an unbelievably challenging session, despite all the rhetoric about green chili cheeseburgers, and we'll let Representative McQueen deal with that. Biscochitos and dances. We actually worked our tails off. And we came into the session right out of the gate. In the first 2 days, we had a $69 million shortfall in our 2017 budget with 0 reserves. We spent all the reserves. And in the first 2 weeks, we were able to pass a solvency package of about $200 million. We went through a huge fight over court funding. The governor didn't want to give the courts the $1.2 million they needed for juries. Without juries, you know, there are constitutional rights to things like speedy trials, and when defendants can't get a trial, they get dismissed. And so, you know, the governor wanted to fight with the courts, and so we went through 2 different bills that got vetoed, and finally we sent a bill up for the money that was needed, and Lieutenant Governor John Sanchez signed it while the governor was out of town. We got that done. So just some interesting statistics. We introduced 1,018 bills, so over 1,000 bills. The bills that passed in both chambers and went to the governor were 277. So 27% of the bills passed. The governor signed 147 bills, so 53% of those bills. That includes 10 bills that she vetoed, but we believe that she violated the Constitution when she vetoed those bills early in the session by not giving a message. So those are going to get challenged in court, and ultimately I think will be set aside. So of the bills that were vetoed, there were 130 bills that were vetoed. 74 of them had a message that actually told us why the governor was vetoing the bills. Of those 74 that had messages, 24 of the vetoed bills passed both chambers unanimously. Not a single vote in opposition. Then there were 14 of those bills passed both chambers with less than 5 votes in opposition. So of the 74 bills she vetoed with a message, 38, more than half, passed with less than 5 votes in opposition. Then she has the ability to pocket veto bills at the end of the 20 days, giving no message, no reason whatsoever. 56 bills were pocket vetoed. 26 of those bills passed unanimously, and 10 bills passed with less than 5 votes. So out of the total bills vetoed, basically 74 of the 130 bills passed with less than 5 votes in opposition. So we're talking a whole string of really important legislation for this state, job creation, ethics, transparency, gone with a stroke of a pen. So that was very frustrating. Again, we're in an ongoing real struggle now with the governor. She also, let me just say this about the Senate. I should probably take a step back. The Senate's a pretty amazing chamber. You know, I realize this is a Democratic ward meeting, but I gotta tell you, it's pretty cool to serve in a chamber where Democrats and Republicans talk to each other, work together, and we vote together. And I think that really makes the governor angry. So, you know, we passed a budget that she's now signed with some line item vetoes. There were only 8 votes in opposition in the Senate, 2 of those were Democrats. We passed a $350 million revenue bill, new revenues, not cuts, new revenues, a whole menu of options for the governor to choose from, many of which were discussed with her during the session. That bill passed 34 to 4. 34 to 4 in this environment. And so we had very conservative members. Senator Lavelle is a senator from Jal, New Mexico. He said it was the first time he voted for a tax increase in 20 years. And I think that's because there's a realization that our state is in a kind of desperate shape. And we've reached a point of multiple cuts where more cuts to public schools, higher ed, the courts, and we're going to have things just shutting down. Constitutional crisis with the courts, classrooms that have massive numbers of students, teachers that are, you know, doing twice the job, getting paid half the money. So there really was a decision to stop, and we sent these bills up to the governor. She made the decision to veto the revenue bill completely. She signed the budget, but what she did was attempted to use a line item veto to send a message to us. And her message to us was, I'm going to use a line item veto, and I'm going to eliminate all the money for the legislature, and I'm going to eliminate all the money for higher education in New Mexico. So you got a budget, but guess what? Now you guys have to come back because you can't, obviously you can't function without money for the legislature, and you can't function, higher ed can't function. Her problem is that she's the first executive in the history of the United States who's ever tried to use a line item veto to eliminate a separate but equal branch of government. A bit of a problem, a little bit of a constitutional problem. So we're in court. We just found out we've got a hearing coming up on May 15th. So I don't know whether she'll call us back in a special session before. I'm just looking for something here, and then I'll hand this over real quick. But I received a very interesting text message this afternoon, and this is what she's now saying about me. They basically, Steve Terrell was talking to the governor about the Supreme Court setting the hearing, and the response was, Senator Wirth went to the courts because he wants New Mexicans to pay higher taxes, including on gas. The governor doesn't believe families should have to shoulder $350 million in tax hikes, and she's going to continue to block the Senate's efforts to do so. So she's trying to, you know, I think to some extent there's real worry, because I think she realizes that what she did is not going to work. And so we're going to keep fighting. And so I just wanted to come tonight because you're part of this. You guys, I mean, this is what happens right here. And when you all engage at the ward level and take it up through the county, through the state, this is when turnout happens. El Dorado is an incredibly special place in this state when it comes to voting. It's unbelievable. The percentage of folks that vote out here makes a huge difference. And we have a great state representative. He's not new anymore. But I can tell you what, he can describe his district. And it goes way, 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 way south. But because of El Dorado, he's here. And he's fantastic. And so I just wanted to come and thank you all. And I'll hand it over to